All right, well, here we are for our first ever episode of a brand new podcast, the Alcoholic Farmers Association, aka AFA. I'm your host, Ben, aka Aussie Gamer. With me, we have Damien, aka Old Mate Gaming, Brendan, aka Beanlazy Gaming, Tim, aka Drifter Gaming. We also have Mark, aka The Troll. We also have Nathan and Foreplay who can't be here at the moment due to real life issues. So what we'll do is we'll just go around the room and introduce ourselves. So I'll start off. So I am Ben, aka The Gamer. Been a streamer for just a little over 6 months now. As far as farming goes, I'm really only just a sim farmer. So I've been working in transport for most of my life. I have 3 kids and been with my missus for just over 20 years now. I come about this lovely community through Farm Sim, and now here we are trying to make a podcast. Okay, so Damien, tell us a little bit about yourself.
G'day, I'm Damien, aka Old Mate Gaming. I too, 6 months, just turned 6 months of streaming through Aussie Gamers' influence that actually pushed me over to it from making a few videos. I'm father of 3 and partner of over 21 years now. Spent somewhat part of my life on stations, either in sheep, in the outback or up north, and in the Western Districts of Victoria cropping, driving trucks for another fair time. So, but yeah, I've always played games, but pretty much made a great friendship with this crew here, and I think we have good times ahead. So
Beautiful. All right, how about we go to Mark? Mark, tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Cheers, Benny. Yeah, mate, basically, I was pretty well born on the land. I grew up on a cattle and grain mixed place on the Darwin Downs. Pretty much since then, I've always had a love of the land and everything comes with it. Been working in the rural industry the whole time I've worked on broadacre and irrigation places. I've worked in the cattle industry, stud cattle industry, feedlotting. I even did a short stint in the coal seam gas when I was a dozer driver clearing the easements for the lines. I've now settled down on the Western Downs. I've got a beautiful wife and kids and work on a feedlot breeding backgrounding property. I'm sure, as we go through this podcast, you'll probably learn more about me with some of the bullshit and the stories that get told. And with gaming, I'm not a gamer. I never considered myself a gamer. I used to whinge about people playing games, and I was like, get outside, you bastards, and do something. But anyway, we walked across my kids one rainy day. They were watching a video on YouTube on this Farm Sim 19, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I discovered it on my phone one day when I was feeding cows and watched old mate and watched a few different people, and I got in with this bloody crew now, and we've started this AFA thing. I think it's going to be big, and I think we're best of luck to us all, boys. And I've even started playing a little bit on the quiet, but that's pretty much me, Benny. But yeah, cheers,
Too easy, mate. Thanks. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about you in the future episodes. Timmy, tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Thanks, Benny. I'm Tim, aka Drifter Gaming. I've been now streaming for over the last month. My background is not really a real farmer at all. I play Farming Simulator. My background in work is I'm in the food industry. I just pack foods for Endeavour Foundation in Toowoomba. And that's about it. Thanks, Benny.
Too easy, mate. As I said to Mark, I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about you and your life in the coming episodes. Yeah. I'm sure you'll all learn a lot more about us. Brendo, it's your turn, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Yeah, I'm much the same as Mark. I grew up in the rural industry. I grew up in an area in New South Wales called the Boilong Valley. Grew up on mostly cattle and lucerne. Done a few things in between that, and managed by the time I was sort of mid-20s, found my way to horse studs. So I've worked both on the farm side and with the horses in the horse stud industry, in the thoroughbred industry, and progressed to about 6 years ago. Progressed to managing a cattle place in the Highlands of Oberon. Went from there, and I've ended up back in horse studs at Scone. So I'm the farm manager on a horse stud there. But yeah, it's a gaming wise, I come across Farm Sim. I think it was 15. Started playing that on the Xbox, and then when 17 come out, and I bought that on the Xbox, and once seasons come out, I told myself that was enough for a time for Xbox and moved to PC. Once I sort of started doing FS, I moved to a bit of iRacing and stuff, and come back to Farm Sim and met you guys, which has been the best thing. Awesome community. It's just full of support and that. So yeah, and here we are now doing the AFA.
Yep, that's it.
So that's it.
Beautiful. All right. So in the future episodes, I'm guarantee we're going to hear a lot more about horse studs and cattle farming and stuff like that, and transport and stuff like that from all of us. And
Here, the stock horses are better than Brendo's thoroughbred.
I'm
Just
not
putting it out there.
complaining. Yeah,
Just putting it out there.
there's a fair agreement. They just don't pay as much.
No.
Alrighty, so
No, sheep farms pay less.
The harder the worker, the less they get paid.
Yeah.
all right, so we had a competition going over on the Beanlazy Gaming page. It was to use the no man's land map and create your best farm. Now, didn't go off money, went off 60 hours of work. Now, I have watched old mate put in a massive effort, streamed pretty much
awesome.
every minute of it until the last 50 minutes. Absolutely beautiful effort he has done there. Unfortunately, as a judge,
You can't win it.
Yeah, I just sold my car and everything because I thought I was getting a car.
But what he did do is show what was possible.
Yeah, he did. And he showed it in every aspect
massively.
of it.
Including my bridge.
One of the rules was that it had to have a bridge for Mark the Troll to live under.
Which no one won. Just pointed it. There was
No, it's all good.
Oh,
it's
there
all
wasn't. No, Paddy had a bridge.
Paddy had
didn't have a house under it though.
No, I wasn't good enough.
No, you just get a rock.
No, yeah, you.
I get a rock. I'm pretty good at hiding under rocks. I live under a rock.
Oh, beautiful.
Are you the mushroom troll?
Yep. Kept in the dark and fed bullshit.
Yeah. That's why we got the group going on. No.
All right, so we didn't
mushrooms.
have very many entries into it. We did have Patrick and Darren, both of which are on separate consoles. So one's on a console, one's on a PC. So they've both come up with obviously you can do a few more things on the PC than you can on the console, but they've both come up with absolutely beautiful looking maps.
Well done.
Well done
guys.
to both of them.
Well done.
100%.
Insert the claps and applause and woohoos.
Yay! So I think we've come to the decision that they're going to both.
Because we couldn't pick between you, so they come down to the top.
Yeah. So I think
The top of the class in each console. So we'll give you a run each, eh?
So
100%.
If the boys are
I'm
happy with that, we'll go.
I believe the prize is a T-shirt and a sticker. So it'll be an AFA T-shirt and an AFA sticker
Yep.
for both of them. So congratulations to you both. Done both amazing
Oh,
jobs,
fantastic
old mate.
effort.
Unfortunately, you're going to get the T-shirt and a sticker anyway, as it's our merch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd love to give you the win, old mate, but unfortunately, you are a judge. You did nail it. I'll give you that.
Like I said though too, and it was always I put through, even when I streamed it, so to speak. I made sure that I was pretty much just showing, right, if you're gonna put the effort in, the angle that I went, it can be done to create and keep going with it within that time period that you can actually get it done. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't have to fill the map. That was one of the biggest things. Brendo, like Beanlazy, said straight out, you can have a small map, but if it's 60 hours worth in it, we'll know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opposed to having a full map with a road and a building thrown over the back there just to fill the map, because at the end of the day, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not saying that anyone would do a bad job doing it. It's just we want to see someone put that really time and effort, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a time and effort thing. You know? Oh,
Time,
mate,
effort,
like
and
it's
creativity.
the creative juices that flow when you start doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the first to agree with it, you know?
And if I'm assuming you blokes will agree with me, but like I had a crack at it. I didn't get much into it because I changed from console to PC and didn't get back to it. But I now find that in my maps, like I'm playing a map now, I will start customizing it and changing it to
100%.
what I want, simply from what I played with in that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, also too that. Yeah,
we'll leave that there, all right?
Did some.
Was it?
You
was
cost
that
me.
2 or
You cost
3
me
times
1,000 stars too.
Benny?
3 days in a row.
And then I end up just
He did too.
cracking it.
He did too. I remember that.
Jumping all my equipment into the chicken coop, so you couldn't get it out.
But
Benny, I will say, but that racetrack map that you were working
Yeah.
on as part of your No Man's Land, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
I
I
would have
deleted
liked
that.
to see where that was going to go.
Not for me, man. Not for me.
tell you what.
No,
I tell you what though, once I finish this, once I finish what I'm mucking around with, I might go back on there and build like a Dakar, well, not a Dakar, but like a Hatter, like a Hatter racetrack.
Yeah.
You know, and put the scrub in there and all that, and have it like the Hatter desert race.
Velpar.
Hey, Mark.
Velpar.
Yeah.
what's it called? And then you could we could
We'll need Velpar.
put one mod in there of a certain car or a bike or whatever. You could run multiplayer streams on it. We could just have race nights.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, you're only going to run to do that properly. At the end of the day, you're only going to do that, aren't you? Like, you're going to have it set up with minimal mods, because then it's not hard to get people involved.
To get people in, and you could run a Top Gear style race where you get a streamer every week to do one lap around your track and see.
Yeah,
who's
Oh,
fastest.
100%.
Do like a fastest
That's
lap.
a good idea. I like it.
Mark,
Up here for thinking, down there for dancing, in between for romance.
I tell you what, a bloke who lives under a bloody bush and a tree and a mushroom, I tell you what, he's half switched on this bloke. He goes all right. That's pretty lucky we've got him. Yeah.
The AFA test track.
I'm sure we'll run multiple
we
competitions
could.
throughout our throughout
Oh,
future episodes.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, you got to remember though too, even though we have a common thing based on farming or in whatever we're doing. If there's a cool multiplayer game coming out, we can do that. Like, you know what I mean? we're not just restricted to you only can play this and you can only play this because that's
Yeah.
what you got. At the end of the day, we all enjoy our company, so it wouldn't worry me. And I've told that I don't care what I play.
Well, as I've spoken to
As long as I'm
Brendo,
hanging out with my mates when I'm
as
doing
I've
it.
spoken to
You know
Brendo
what I mean?
lately, I've just downloaded iRacing and just started getting into that. And for the first 6 hours of playing it, like you didn't hear from me on Wednesday or Thursday. That's because I was just in front of the computer playing
Couldn't find
iRacing, and all I did was
With
Yeah.
the steering wheel off the
run
table.
laps.
Tighten that
It's new
clamp.
front-
All I did was run laps with not
Two
even
front
cars
windows in
around.
the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's I mean it's a pretty intense
Yeah.
game that it's
It's not mucking around.
I mean it's not it's a game but it's technically not. It technically is a
Yeah.
simulator.
Oh, it's
still a
it's
video game, but
100% more of a
but it is-
simulator than a video game. Just in what I've gotten into.
Speaking of questions and simulators and stuff, the next one I want to see is our mate on Flight Sim in like an FA8.
I've got Flight Sim.
When are you gonna stream that, old mate? Just to put you on the spot.
I have to buy. I have to get, which is not a drama because I don't mind getting it.
Yeah, then we
at the
can
end
all
of the
fly
day.
together too.
Um,
Let's fly together.
Let's come fly with me.
I got a game called DCS where it's a digital combat simulator.
Yeah.
And you've got to learn every single function in that thing, like how to use missiles, how to avoid missiles. Like it is nuts. That's a guaranteed Benny Lucy shit
100%.
game. That one.
Yeah.
I was already starting to rage just thinking about it.
I remember as a kid, we had Flight Sim might have been like 95 or 97, something like that. It come on like 6 or 8 floppy disks.
Yeah, the big
you know what
5
I'm
and a
saying?
quarter ones.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that old. They were phasing them out as I started school.
The 3-inch floppy.
3
the hard,
like
5 and
myself.
I think it's 5 and a quarter and 3.5 inch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you know if you rub them 3 1/4 inch floppies, it turns into a hard drive?
That's gold, all right.
My first computer was a Commodore 64.
Like a genie rub. Like a genie rub.
Yep.
My first computer was a Commodore 64. We used to have tape cassettes.
Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah. Leisure Suit
and
Larry.
Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego on winter and summer
San
games.
Diego. Yep. We had an Amstrad with tapes. An Amstrad with tapes and a green screen. And you could do programs, right? Like type your programs on the keyboard, and it'd be like you'd have to set out. It was like but it wasn't hard to do. No. It was like comma, and then you just type it out and do lines of it. Next minute, it just pop up and it'd be, oh wow! But it'd take 2 hours to load the game because it was running off the cassette tape. So you'd have to, you'd go halfway, like yes minutes, and then pop up on the screen. Please flip the tape. So you'd literally press stop, eject, pull the tape out, flip it up, push it back in, and press play again, and off it go again. Next minute, it starts loading
it'd freeze.
Again. And you go.
You've been doing it for an hour, and then it'd freeze.
Yeah, and you just sit there go, I've got to start again. And you get into the game, you thought, oh, this was better than anything you've ever seen.
Even back in the day on that, I used to code out little games, stuff like that.
Yeah, because you could.
Man, if now you continued on doing that, freaking loaded.
Oh.
If you made just a simple mobile phone game, right? Mobile phone games make that much money. It's not funny. And if you look at a lot of them, they're just copies of another game. So like you've got your Clash of Clans, right? But then you've also got another game called Clash Royale, where it's exactly the same.
Yep.
Those people are making millions.
Back in the day, I was playing footy, cricket, and soccer and motorbikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a motorbike and stuff as well.
Yeah. If it was raining, that's when you sat inside, and I thought it was pretty flash with the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, we were the
Yeah, well,
same.
see, we're the same. We're the same, though. We're
Yeah.
kicked outside. We weren't allowed inside.
When it was
If-
dark, you had to
When
be
the
home.
street lights came on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Street lights didn't come on where I was
Street
from.
lights didn't come on where I come from.
You're sitting out the front just going, is it dark
We
yet
used-
or no? I can't
we
see
used
the
to shoot-
light.
When you couldn't get home without a
used to shoot
torch,
ours out with slingshots.
if you had no torch.
We used to shoot our streetlights out with slingshots.
Yeah.
Can't come on if they're broken.
They didn't come on, Mum.
But see, I grew up on a place. There was like, I got a brother and sister, and I had 5 cousins. There was 3 other people worked for, like 2 other people worked for us, but I had 5 cousins on the place, as well as one family had 3 kids and the other family had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all around the same age. And then I had a couple of uncles who were not much older than us that used to come out all the time as well. So we ran amok, you know what I mean? Like, we had 14,500 acres with whatever that works out to be in kids, 10 or a dozen kids. So we ran amok. If we wanted to play a game of bloody 7-a-side footy, we could, you know what I mean?
So, Timmy, what was one of your first games that you got into?
One of my first games was Need for Speed.
Oh,
SC.
yeah. Need for Speed Underground 2 was the bomb.
Oh,
Was that the one you could do it was the first one you could drag racing?
I think so, yes. But it was one of the main ones that you could build up your car and had a really good story. And
it had a storyline to it,
Yeah.
Hot Pursuit was the first one, wasn't it? Hot Pursuit was the...
No, that was after. That was after.
I still got a copy of it if you want it. On PS3, I got a copy of Hot Pursuit.
Oh, really?
I was trying to sell it the other day. When we upgraded to the PS4 for the kids, I was trying to sell the PS3 games, but no one wants them.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, you keep your PS3 unit,
Yeah, so...
Yeah, well, it died. It died.
Oh, yeah.
I had an Xbox.
Yeah,
I actually went from 64 to an Xbox. And I went through a few Xboxes because the readers would die in them. And then I had one that the power system died. So I pulled the reader out of it and put in another one with good power. But it was just... Well, I didn't do it. I got someone else to do it because I'm too fucking dumb for that shit. But
So...
it still didn't work.
Need for Speed...
I'm waiting for it. Is it hell?
The Need for Speed started in 94.
Underground?
Yeah, then you had Need for Speed 2 in 97, then Need for Speed 3, which was Hot Pursuit in 98.
Yep.
There's about 1, 2, 3, 4,
That'd be
5,
about when I
6,
got my
7, 8,
PlayStation,
9,
I
10,
reckon.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah, it might have been a bit before that because I went from Atari 2600.
There's like 27 different versions of Need for Speed.
Now you're talking dirty.
I went from there to a Super Nintendo, then a Super Nintendo to the PlayStation. And I remember that was probably the first major... I was about, maybe 12, 13, probably 13 when I bought that. And that was my first ever major purchase as a kid. Like, I bought that. I bought all the games for it.
I bought a 64 was my major purchase, and I still remember, and I don't think any games come close. No, actually, one kid's got the other. That's pretty close, but remember the old Mario Kart?
Mario.
Oh, Mario Kart.
I remember right up through, like, me and the brother would sit down on a Friday night after work and have half a dozen beers each and sit down and race each other in Mario Karts.
It's a Mario.
Wet yourself laughing
that's
the whole time.
We got it on... We got Joey a Switch for Christmas a couple of years ago, and he's got it on there. Mario Kart 8, I think. But you can play all the original... what was it? Rainbow Road and stuff like that, and your Mushroom Cup and stuff like that with all the old ones. So because
I bought the kids,
I've finished them all for him.
I bought the kids a PlayStation 4 for Christmas, and got them a. It's the Cars, the
Yeah.
Cars movie.
Yeah.
It's the Cars movie game, but it's like Mario Kart.
awesome.
You race around a track and you throw bombs at
Sweet.
each other. And the
Yeah.
first night we turned it on, we had me and George, me 15-year-old, and the two younger boys. What's Leslie's 7 and 4 or 6 and 4,
Yeah.
whatever they are. We had the 4 of us on a multiplayer, which I didn't even know you could do on these new PlayStations. We had 4 of us going at the same time, split screen, and you couldn't hear nothing in the house for the laughter. And it was the funniest thing I've done in years. Just reminded me of Mario Karts. But
It's good fun. Some of the games I got now, trying to bring family into it and stuff like that. Like I'll sit there for hours and hours and hours on me Xbox and play Lego games.
Yep, my cook's got mad on the Lego games.
They are so. There's so much involved in it. Like you can play the game and finish it in 25 hours by just like speed running it or whatever. But then you've got to go back because you've only actually finished the game at 50%. You actually need to finish the game to be able to unlock all the characters to go back and then replay those levels. And I've sat there with walkthroughs before trying to make sure you collect everything, and it's a mission. Like, it's not easy. For a kid's game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not supposed to be 5 minutes.
I've played
you know
heaps
what I mean? Like
I've played Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Batman.
Has that got that old mate in it? Has it?
Which one?
No, he plays farm sim.
What's his name? Old mate. Like Gandalf.
Yeah, that's Lord of the Rings, mate.
Lord of the Rings.
I've played the Harry Potter ones as well. Lord of the Rings one.
Jess is playing
Lord
Harry
of the
Potter.
Rings one was one of the better ones I played. There was 2 different episodes to it. There was the first few movies, and then you played the next one, which was the second lot of movies. But just the way it follows the actual story of the game, I mean, of the actual movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably the book then.
Like, those Lego games, they might only be for kids, but I love them.
Oh, no.
I like them.
Do you know what? Lego has no age. Lego has no age on it.
It only says 6 and up, doesn't it? It doesn't say 6 to 13, so you're safe.
Do you know what, though? You look at the creators of Lego.
Yeah.
I know it's off topic, but look at the creator of Lego, right? They're not a single kid in there. They get a kid to use it to see if it's usable. The creator, the person that makes a model for an agreeable for the party to sit down and agree to. Like they're creators, they're designers, they're grown mums and dads from around the world. They take people from around the world, shoot them over to Denmark.
Yeah.
You do this. This is your job. You build this.
Full-on designers. I think it's something in the brick or something. There's a documentary I've watched on Lego before.
Yeah, I was
I
just going to ask if you've seen it.
There's a Facebook page as well called Beyond the Bricks. Let's see. I think it might be an official Lego.
I think I might actually be
Beyond the Bricks. The stuff you see on there, man, it is not kids doing that. That's all.
Well, even did you watch any of that show?
Designers.
Lego Masters or whatever. That was
100%. They're off their head.
No, I didn't watch it.
No, that was good. Just this.
Yeah, we'll go.
They give them 8 hours to design something, and the most amount of Lego you could ever possibly use.
Well, there was no limit, so you could never sit there and go, I've ran out of 2x4 blocks or whatever. They had 2x4s by a million in each colour, so you could never
I actually
run out of the colour.
Where you go in to get your Lego, and they had all the drawers of all like.
The brick room.
You've got 100-litre drawer
specialty
of
Lego
6x2 blocks. It's like fuck yeah, and they're all in their certain colours and stuff like that. That was aesthetically pleasing.
You think how cool would that be to set up, and then you go, yeah, but I know what my kids are like, and it'll all end up in one box anyway.
Yeah.
or on the floor, and my feet are gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, they actually make Lego slippers, don't you? For people that have kids that play with Lego on the
Oh,
floor.
really?
Yeah, because they have a thing in them so that when you stand on them, you don't get the edges into the bottom of your
Nice.
foot.
Yeah. No, Lego. I love Lego. I've spent heaps of money on Lego for Joey. And
Oh, it doesn't play with
no,
it?
it's all in a box in the garage.
Yeah.
my favourite thing is you buy them a Lego set, you give them the instructions, let them make it once, and throw the instructions out because you don't
Nah.
fucking need them.
Yeah.
Show them out, use your own friggin' brain.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of Lego.
I used to buy big Lego things for Joey, knowing that I'd have to build it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the same. I was the
Yeah.
same with Hudson. Then Hudson, he was the same. He just got. I don't think he loved the fact that it was Lego, but got to the point where he just I'd rather play a few video games or get out in his bike or his scooter or go kick the footy or
Yeah, then Joey discovered
and then
Xbox and he's taken over my computer. I hardly get to use it anymore. It's not fun.
But you know what though too though for him, he's a creative kid though too.
Yeah, definitely.
And the way the future is, I suppose, the way the future is though, that people can actually look at it that computer and computer technology and designing through computers. Well, that's the future. Sorry,
it is.
Yeah,
that's what I've said to him.
Well, you have to know it.
Look at unmanned tractors. We laughed about them as a kid. We laughed about this idea of these unmanned tractors and working in a pack, and it's becoming a realistic thing. And even as the simplest form of it of auto steer, Trimble, bloody Green Star, whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
Of sitting in the seat and going and pressing the button.
Yep. And it steers everything for you.
And sitting there watching a movie till you get to the other end of the paddock. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I remember when that stuff first started kicking about, and I was like, holy, how cool is this, not having to steer? Like, because I grew up in a tractor. Like, I'd come home from school, and I was on a tractor. I used to try and get kicked out of school to go and sit on the tractor or chase cows. Or, literally, Mum went to the school and asked them not to suspend or expel me and my brother because that's what we were trying to get done whenever we were planting, harvesting, mustering. We used to play up.
Yeah.
And
well, you knew what you wanted to do.
And that's what I was thinking. Like and it's progressed on to the farming and all this, and that's I'm actually learning at the moment on Farm Sim how to use all that stuff.
Yeah.
And running like the other day, I was highly disappointed when I couldn't use the GPS to cut my grass to put into my BGA.
Yeah. So on that, I have had a couple of questions come up on BGAs as a non-farmer. As a non-farmer, only a farm sim farmer, and I've never really gotten into it. Got a question for you farmers. Please explain what and where and how a BGA is used.
Do you want to take this one to begin with, Brendo?
There's no strike the chord. They're a biogas plant BGA. The A is for market.
I was about to say, what's the A stand for?
It's German for plant.
It's German for plant. It's Anna something.
Anna Konikova.
Anglo anyway, it's
Anadite or something.
So basically, what it is a plant where you put a bio product in. So in most cases, you're talking silage. So, and that bacteria produces methane. In that, the methane gets captured, and then they can run it through a generator to create electricity. That's the simple form of it.
All right, so
yeah,
if I'm to put a BGA plant in my farm sim, right?
Yep.
And fill it with silage, what do I get out of the BGA plant? Because you don't really need electricity.
You get but you get a money value
Okay.
as if it's produced
Yep.
electricity.
At
and then
midnight.
Also, at midnight, yeah. And then also you get a thing called digestate, which is a fertilizer.
Okay.
So if you're on console, all you can actually do, unless there's a mod that I'm not aware of, is actually that fertilizer. You can spread it on all your paddocks,
Yeah.
fields.
Okay.
Paddocks.
And if you're on PC, you can actually download a mod to sell that digestate as well. So you can get a double income off it.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
righto.
you're also saving money from not having to buy
And
fertilizer.
just to go back for those
Yep.
people that aren't farm savvy, silage is made from cutting grass, flipping the grass. I know
No,
it's
you don't have to, in the game. You
tough.
don't have to flip it. All you have to,
Nah,
you can
nah.
either. So you can either go with a machine. So you've got the Crone Big M, or you've got in the DLCs you can get the Vicon
Yeah.
mowers, which will windrow it straight away. So then you can just pick that up either by the forage harvester or a loader wagon.
That John Deere I use is the best.
Yeah. Or you can, and not all, but once you've windrowed it, pick it up, take it to a silage bunker, and compress it in the silage bunker, compact it, and then once you cover it, it can go, and after 24 hours, it can go into the BGA
Okay.
plant. But it's not only grass. You got whole crop harvest, which is your oats, wheat, barley.
Yeah. So explain whole crop, because I've seen that before and was unsure what it is or what it meant.
Whole crop's just you're just whole cropping it at the right moisture content, so it comes through with a forage harvester.
Yeah. Okay.
And you
All right.
chop
So I
it.
have to use a forest harvester rather than your normal
Yep.
pickup harvester.
Same
Combine.
principle as corn.
Yep.
In the game, same principle.
Whole crop, instead of waiting for it to dry out and taking the heads off, like realistically, you've got a crop, you wait for it to dry out, you'll take the heads off, you'll leave stubble behind, and you'll spray excess. So your header will separate the individual seeds out from the rest of the crop, and spray the rest out in the ground. If you're whole cropping, you can go in sooner and you can take everything down to ground level, more or less. So you're taking the whole crop, not just the head.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have done silage before, but back on FS.
So that's basically what it is. And you've also got your corn that 90% of people are seeing corn being silage. But
I was watching a thing the other day, actually, I found interesting. Is a big place in England that's in the UK that's gone. They've converted the farm over for a biogas plant, and they were saying because they've got really chalky soils, and they've discovered that sugar beets grow really well, but they can't use too much of them through their biogas plant because the water content's too high, if that's making sense. So it's diluting it too much. But they were saying they were using a percentage of them so they can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They're.
Yeah. That was the Apsley Farms one, was it?
Yeah. It's actually really interesting watching a bit of stuff
on. You look at them, and they've got. I can't remember their figure on what land they've got, but they produce enough sugar beet for what they need off their own land, and then they've got 5,000 acres worth of contracted country to other farmers. Whole crop, and everything else is whole crop.
47 other properties or something coming into them whole crop.
Okay.
It's insane amount of numbers.
One of the big things I got out of that, which spun me out big time, coming from that farming point of view, and that they posed a question to him about, is a ton in, a ton out, and he was saying that it's back to about 80%. So a ton of silage is coming out at 800 kilos of gas, more or less, which gets turned to
Yeah.
electricity.
No.
Yep.
Plus, they're getting their byproducts out of that, like to
Yeah.
put back on the paddock. Like they're not buying, other than seed, they're not buying
Yeah.
nothing in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you like, mightn't sound huge, but you consider, I don't know what it's costing them over there, but I'll give you a rough number here. To grow silage for the feedlot here, it's roughly dry land. Cost me $30 an acre to grow it. About $30 a ton to grow it. It's another 35 to chop it and roll it and tarp it. So say 65 a ton in the stack as it sits. Now, and then you pull it out. You know, there's money on pulling it out, and there's a percentage of wastage pulling it out. For feed value, obviously going back into there, I don't think there'd be as high a wastage, but so even if you work on say $80 a ton coming out of the pit, and they're getting say 800 kilos of gas out of that $80, what do you pay for a bottle of gas at the moment?
It's about
You
for a 9 kilo bottle.
you
It's
work
about
out,
$30 or something.
Swap and go.
Yeah.
So you work out the figures on that. And that the UK and that there's big government subsidies. They've been helped to build it. They get help, you know, for wages and everything, and they get help for being farmers. There's big.
Well, it's an incentive, isn't it? At the end of the day.
They're not only getting methane out of that though; they get carbon.
Yeah.
Your fizzy drink
Oh,
carbon.
okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it gets sold back into the food industry. Once that methane's separated out, there's a couple other products in there, and one of them's basically your bubbles in your fizzy drink. You buy a can of Coke, that's the bubbles in that.
Well, I've got one of them machines here that I use, and them SodaStream gadgets.
SodaStream.
Yep.
What is it?
I think it cost me like,
what is it?
CO2.
Yeah, CO2.
CO2, yeah.
A bottle of that cost me
Oh,
$12
really?
in town.
How many
And that's
drinks
not
do
even
you
a
get
kilo
out of
in a
it?
bottle.
Because I've been thinking about getting one.
Oh, I don't know.
I'd smash it
They're
down.
good,
We
but
used to
I
have
like
one
them.
as a kid.
I think it's
And then they bought out the new
Glass
fandangled
bottles?
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The glass bottles?
Yeah.
Look like it.
We actually, going through high school, we actually made out of surfboard foam. One of our projects in shop class was to build a car that we put eyelets on it so it would run in a straight line on fishing line. And remember the old soda bulbs, the little fellas? You'd put, you had to make your car so you'd fit one of them in there, and we made up a thing with nails on it on a spring-loaded thing, and we used a drag race in these cars. And that was one of our projects in shop class. And they run on CO2 cartridges.
What are they called? Your cream bulbs or whatever. And how much money
Yeah,
there is in those
that's
at
them.
the moment? They're $1. They'd be $1 each for one of those little canisters. They're the teenagers love them.
So that stuff in them is a byproduct. Like, it's another byproduct. You listed the byproducts coming off a BGA plant, BGA plant. That's a biogas plant, if you call it a BGA plant.
Yeah.
The byproduct coming out of it is phenomenal, let alone what
the employment
the benefits.
rate out of a biogas plant. Like, that Ivplay farm, what is it, 800 acres?
Yeah.
Enough to employ 2 people, technically. Full time. Now they're employing 17.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it's industry. It's a win-win really for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I'm sort of nearly going to have to keep running here in a minute, boys. We'll cut this off for save a bit of conversation for the next
definitely.
trip, eh?
We did pretty good. Nice.
Yeah.
So yes, that was highly explanatory. I can't say that word. I learnt a lot anyway.
Education.
We learned a lot.
Mainly the reason I said we've got to go is I've just about to finish my 4th beer since we've been doing this, and I've got no more cold beer in the fridge, so I'm going to find something to do.
Alrighty, so call it quits for the first podcast of the AFA crew. If you listeners have any questions or want to get in touch with us, we've got the Facebook page, Alcoholic Farmers Association, and also you could also jump onto our Discord page. There's a general chat there that if you feel want to,
There'll be a link for that. Be a link for that on
there'll
the
be a
Facebook
link for
page.
it all. And
You got questions? You want to ask a gamer a questions? You want to ask a
Yeah,
farmer
that's
a
it.
questions?
if you want to
Throw it in
ask any question, just feel free to chuck it in
Yep.
there, and we'll run
Yeah.
through that during. We'll
We'll give you
try
an
and
Our
give you
mate
an
won't
answer.
send
We'll give you
nudes.
our version of an answer.
It'll be an answer, whether it's the right answer.
Right and wrong, it's still an answer.
It's an
Yeah.
answer.
Well, there is no wrong. It's
No.
no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer because it's our answer. And so
You know,
it's how you interpret it. It's kind of
people say 1 and 1's 2, but really, like in my household, there's me and the missus, so that's 1 and 1 is there's 6 of
Yeah.
us, so
Oh,
1 and
1
1's
plus
6.
1 equals a window.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, that's
It does so.
All right,
but yeah, that's where we're at, and
beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
well, top job, guys, for our
thank
first
you,
ever
Benny.
episode.
Appreciate you
job.
calling
Good
me
boys.
up.
Hope that we can
Yeah,
kick
thanks,
this
guys.
off, and
Hopefully, you want to hear us
hopefully we
again.
can get the rest of the crew in here for next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 4-player will be back, and there'll be special guests
Yeah,
at time
that's
to
it.
time.
Whereas
Yeah.
you all know, this is the first episode. We are just getting on our feet. We'll work it all out, and we'll bring
I
some
think
good information to you.
We'll put more beers in the fridge for next time.
a few different modders want to come in and talk to us and be involved as well. I want to explaining about
Farm sim talk.
Oh no, it's not just about the farm sim though, but I do know that like I have spoke with the boys out of CAS 64 and Tailor Made Mapping. They want to get involved and think it's how awesome it is. Yeah, talk about maps and the new map will be released.
Island Life. I've already had the privilege of streaming and playing that. I think there's a couple of us that have, and there are a few out, but
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
You were streaming Forestry part of it, weren't you, Ben?
no, that's actually on my PV County map, which I also haven't been back to.
Righto, lads. Well, I'm out.
Righto.
We'll
There you go.
catch up next time and see what happens.
Alrighty,
eh?
guys. Thanks
Awesome,
very much.
guys.
All right,
Catches.
guys. Thank
See
you.
you later.
Now.
Yeah, progressed to about 6 years ago. Progressed to Edit.
A cow, a moo.
There's our first edit.
What did I miss? I went for beer.
I was trying to say cow, but all I could say was moo.
He's worked with me.
Oh. Right, let me get me. Right,
Timmy's gone. Oh, fuck. Edit that out.
Better out than in.
That's it.